Hello, hello, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tony. I am currently playing Super Mario World, and, or Yoshi, is this Yoshi's Island? No, is this? I don't think it is. I think it's just Super Mario World. Maybe it's Yoshi's Island. I don't know. Anyway, and I've been talking about what it was like during my marriage to my now ex-husband, just like some of the stories or whatever. And I left off talking about how I'm not interested in dating currently. So I guess I'm going to talk a little bit more about that, because this is something that some people, like my very, very best friend that I've been best friends with since I was 8 years old, she fully gets it. Like when I tell her that I am not even mildly interested in dating, she's just like, yeah, some people just aren't. But most people, like most of my other friends, like I remember my friend Tiffany said to me the other day, she was like talking about how amazing her boyfriend is, that she's been together for like a year or something like that. And she said something about, don't worry, someday I'm sure, or soon you'll find a guy as good as him, or something like that. And I was like, listen, no shade towards your boyfriend. I'm glad he's such a nice guy, but I don't want to find a guy. Like, oh, well, I just mean when you do. I don't know that that's going to be a thing that happens. And that's the thing that people can't really grasp, is that I might not ever be interested in dating. Even my ex-husband doesn't get it. He asks the kids at pretty much every visitation about my new boyfriend. Who's my new boyfriend? Who's my new boyfriend? And I'm sure that it's because he either already has started dating or knows that he at some point soon will date. And that's all well and fine. I don't care if my ex-husband dates. My kids and I were talking about how we would almost prefer for him to have a new wife or girlfriend, because that would be easier for like me when it comes to like communicating, because it's very hard for my ex and I to communicate effectively. But hopefully a new girl would, be better at it. That wasn't the kids' issue. The kids don't care about whether or not their father and I can communicate, because I don't talk to them about that. Their whole thing is they're worried that they won't have like shampoo and soap and stuff if they don't have if dad doesn't have a girl there. But anyway, like people have a very hard time with the concept of me not wanting to date at all. Like, people don't seem to think that that's like feasible or like reasonable or whatever. And I don't know why. Like, I feel like there's nothing wrong with not wanting to date. Like, that should be perfectly fine to not be interested in dating. I don't have to have another relationship. Like, it's not a requirement. You don't get divorced and you're just required to have another relationship. And my kids and I genuinely went through hell. And I'm not interested in, like, even if I met the most amazing guy who's so nice and so wonderful and blah, 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 that doesn't necessarily mean that my kids are going to be comfortable with him, Like, my kids, they're not comfortable with strangers, and I don't know, I can't, like, I had somebody, I may have already told this story, but I had this guy message me on Facebook, and he got kind of, like, mad because I said that I wasn't ready to date, and I didn't know if I ever would be. And he told me that that's not fair. Well, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I don't... The sense of entitlement in some people is just, you're not entitled to date me. You're not entitled to date anyone. And I don't know. I don't really know how to describe it. I'm just not interested in being in a relationship. And it should be something that people just accept and are fine with, because I should be allowed to not want to be in a relationship. And like, oh, that's what I was saying, is like, I understand that there's a lot of people out there that move on very quickly, and I don't necessarily think that that's like a bad thing per se, but I struggle to understand how. And I guess part of it, I'm sure, is because typically by the time you get to the point where you're getting divorced, you are probably pretty much already done with the marriage. Like, when you get to the point that you're filing for divorce, things have probably been broken for a while. Unless like you catch your husband in an affair, but even then, things have probably been broken for a while. So maybe that's why it's like pretty easy for people to move on in situations like that. And I can get that. I can, because by the time my husband was arrested, and I filed for divorce, it had been a couple, I'd say probably 2 or 3 years where things were off. Basically whenever it was that he started doing the drugs. But I didn't know that he was doing drugs at first. I just thought he was like grumpy. And then once I did find out, of course, things had come to a head, and there was, at that point, even though we hadn't, it was like another year, a little over a year and a half before he actually was arrested, and I did end up filing for divorce. But I knew the first time that things were not going to last, because I couldn't be with somebody who did the things that he did. I basically was just trying to survive at that point and figure out how to safely not be in a marriage anymore. But I just, like, nothing about me has the desire to be in another relationship. And I don't know if it's like all just like because of trauma, but there's other people, like I am in like addict, like wife, like spouse, significant other, wives, whatever, of addicts support groups on Facebook. I'm in 2 of them. And the women on there, same deal. Like they'll be talking about how they left their husband 2 weeks ago and their new boyfriend, blah, 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 blah. And, they're concerned about their new boyfriend being an addict, or they're concerned about this, or they're talking about how it's been 3 months and they're in this amazing new relationship. And good for them. Like, that's wonderful. I'm so happy for you. But also, how are you doing that? Like, how are you able to just start dating someone again? And like, even my sister, who has been in horrible relationships, just is able to just start dating again, like almost immediately. And I can't wrap my brain around how. And again, I don't mean that in like a judgmental way, like, oh, how could you do that? I mean that in a legitimately, how on earth do you get your brain to even allow that to happen kind of way? You know what I mean? Like, I've had people, like, I don't have like men beating down my door or anything, don't get me wrong. I'm not like some hot commodity who's so amazing, nothing like that. But I have had a few people like suggest that we date, or at least that they let me take them out, or not let me take them out, let them take me out, or whatever. And I genuinely am not even mildly interested. Like, I can't imagine a scenario where I would be interested. Like, even eventually when my children have to start doing visits with their father, you know, like overnight or whatever, once like the supervision is gone, I can't imagine having the desire to like maybe go on a date with someone, but even then, I don't think I would do that. Because if somebody only wants to date you once, you probably found them on like Tinder or whatever it is. No, not Grindr's the gay one, right? I think Tinder is for whatever it is. I think it's Tinder. And then they just want to have sex with you, and I'm not doing that. But if they want to take you on one date, they probably want to take you on more than one, and they're perhaps looking for a relationship. And words cannot express how much I'm not looking for a relationship. So no, I'm not going to date anyone, not even once, because then that's literally just leading someone on. And I don't know, I can't. I can't wrap my brain around ever having a relationship again, ever. And I genuinely don't know how people do it after a relationship that is traumatic and like, I don't know. I just don't know. So, but again, if you're someone who was divorced and, you know, got remarried or whatever, I'm not judging you. I'm not saying, you know, you're terrible and I don't know how you do it. How dare you? Because it's not like I'm still pining for my ex. I'm not like over here, oh, I wish I wasn't divorced. I'm very glad that I'm divorced. I filed for divorce. That was all me. No part of me wants to still be married. I just don't ever want to be in a relationship, if that makes sense. I'm not even mildly interested in dating someone again. And I don't know if that's going to be a permanent state of being for me, not wanting to date anyone ever again. Or if maybe in like 10 or 15 years, I'll want to date, but I'm telling you right now, I can't even imagine in a scenario where I would want to date someone. I don't know if that's messed up. I don't know. I just know that every time that somebody like that I know gets divorced and is in a relationship very soon after, I want to ask them how they do it, but I don't want to come off as judgy. And I don't know how to ask someone that without sounding like I'm judging them for it. Like, oh, I would never. No, I'm not saying, I'm genuinely, like I am saying that I would never, but I'm not saying it in like I don't know how to describe it. I'm not saying it in a way like I'm judging people because they're able to move on. I'm genuinely curious as to how you get your brain to even consider that as a possibility, because my mind, nope, I don't care who you are. I'm not dating you. I'm not, I don't know. And I don't know if it's just like a me thing, or if it's something that other people, I mean, obviously I'm sure that other people feel that way, because I'm sure that not every single person on the planet, goes through a divorce and then immediately starts dating. Like, I'm not dumb. I know that that's not a thing that happens, but I feel like it's so much less common to not want to date than it is to basically start dating immediately. And this is going to sound terrible, and again, I am not judging people who date, right? I'm not. But like, I feel like it's almost like the mindset of some men, not all men, because this is not a real thing for women, but I feel like some men see anybody who gets divorced as like immediate, like, a sure thing. Because I have had people who have to know better proposition me, we'll say. And I genuinely think that it's because they think that I'm like the sad, lonely, divorced woman who is so desperate for any kind of male attention that I will just go for them. And I'm not sad, lonely, or desperate. And I don't want to go for them. And again, I'm not saying that every person who gets divorced is sad, lonely, and desperate, but that seems to be the mindset of a certain type of man, that if you're divorced, you must be sad, lonely, and desperate. And obviously, those are not the men that these divorced women are ending up with long term. They might be the type of men that they might end up with in the short term if they do happen to get lonely. And obviously, we've all been there. We've all dated the wrong guy. Lord knows, half of us married him. But it's interesting to me that so many people really do expect that. Like, I've had people who found out I was getting divorced say, "Oh, don't worry, you won't be single for long. A girl like you won't be single for long." A girl like me? I don't know if that's a compliment but I would like to remain single permanently, thank you. Anyway, like, I know that you're trying to compliment me, but I don't feel complimented. And I would actually prefer to stay single. Thank you anyway. So, you know what I mean? Like, I know that, it's just because... Oh, fuck. I know that it's just because it's a common thing for divorced women to start dating right away. But I don't necessarily want to ever date. Like, literally ever. It's just not the type of thing that interests me. Now, to be fair, I did have it, like, this is going to sound messed up after all the stories I just told, but I was quote-unquote spoiled by my ex-husband, in the sense that him and I didn't really, like, he could go do whatever he wanted. He could take off and go up north for an entire week or longer, and I wouldn't bat an eyelash. Like, go ahead. He didn't bring the kids or anything. He would just go by himself. And as long as I did have the kids with me, I could do whatever I wanted. As long as I wasn't leaving the kids with him, I could take off and go to Florida for a week. I could, go wherever. As long as I did not leave him with the kids, he did not care. And so, that's kind of what I became accustomed to, is, being able to just kind of go do what I wanted when I wanted, as long as I had my children and I didn't, try to leave them with him. He did not care in the slightest what I went and did. And so that kind of became what I was used to. Okay, so there is nothing there. Yeah, that became, that became the norm for me, is to be able to just kind of go and do what I wanted when I wanted. And if I got into another relationship, it would probably be with somebody who liked me enough to want to spend time with me, and possibly liked my children and wanted to spend time with my children as well. And my kids and I do not want somebody who's going to come and want to disrupt our lives, if I'm being perfectly honest. And I know that might sound incredibly messed up, and don't blame my children for that. Like, that's just, it's not like my kids are saying, "Mom, you can't ever date." I don't have a desire to. I don't have a desire to bring somebody into my children's lives that are going to try to parent them. That's my job. And when he is around, their father's job. I don't want somebody who's going to come into my life and want me to change the way I do. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I was once told that I was too independent, and at the time I was like, what the heck? What does that even mean? How dare you? But I'm beginning to think that maybe that was a little bit accurate. And I don't mean like independent as in like I never need anyone's help, because obviously I have had to like call my neighbor to help me, you know, do whatever thing, you know, fix things that I couldn't fix. I had to have one of my friends come mow my lawn because my lawnmower broke. You know what I mean? Like I do need people to help me sometimes, but I don't want anybody to come into my life and, I don't know, be part of it, I guess? Is that messed up? I don't know. I feel like some of the stuff that I say is not. I'm basically just still talking because I just want to beat this level real quick so that I can go get my kids, and this will save. But yeah, please don't fall. That was really scary. Okay, anyway, long story short, lots of rambling. I'm not dating. I don't want to date. I have no interest in dating anyone at all. And that's just the way it is. So, continue and save. Alright, I'm going to end this video here. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know if you came here from TikTok. I keep meaning to say that at the beginning, like, hey, if you're from TikTok, say hello, but I always forget. So if you made it this far and you did find my video on TikTok, let me know. Just leave a comment, say TikTok or something, or hi from TikTok, or whatever. Let me know if you enjoyed this. I'm very sorry if I got overly rambly. It's been a while since it's been just me. I'm used to having my sister to bounce things off of. She will be back next weekend. I mean, it won't be, I don't know when it'll be for you guys. I don't know how many videos I've recorded, but she will be back on my next recording session. So, you know, this is the final video in like this recording session. So she will be back the next time. We'll play Stardew Valley again, and I think we're going to talk about her relationship with her husband, and I'm going to talk a little more about my relationship with my ex, but a little more like structured, like how we met, and you know, that kind of thing. So thank you for watching all this, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!